I've been fascinated with the supernatural as long as I can remember. Growing up, I binge-watched every ghost hunting show I could find. The shaky cameras, the whispered voices, the thrill of stepping where you weren't supposed to. Eventually, watching wasn't enough. I wanted to experience it for myself. So, one morning before sunrise, I packed some basic hiking supplies, grabbed my camera, and headed toward a mountain area locals referred to only as forbidden. No official signs, no fences, just warnings, passed quietly like secrets. I started down the trail just as the morning light crept through the trees. That's when I saw him. An old man sat off to the side of the trail on a rotting log, gripping an antique-looking cane. His clothes were worn thin, like he'd been out there longer than anyone should be. I nodded politely and kept walking, hoping to avoid conversation. But he spoke anyway. "Where are you headed, young man?" His voice was dry, scratchy, like it hadn't been used in years. "You seem awfully eager." I stopped. "Nowhere in particular," I said, "just going for a hike." He stared at me for a long moment. Then he straightened his back and said something that made my stomach tighten. "I feel an evil presence stirring within you. Your true intentions are not what you've told me." I laughed nervously. Evil? I hadn't come here to hurt anyone. Before I could respond, he continued, "The path you choose is yours, but I beg you, rethink what you're pursuing." I felt irritated, unsettled. "Look," I said, "I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just hiking." His eyes locked onto mine. "He who seeks the forbidden land seeks darkness, and he who seeks darkness will surely become it." A chill ran through me. "How do you know where I'm going?" I asked. "That is not important," he replied as he stood. "Turn around. There is only death ahead." Then he walked away. I checked my watch. 10 minutes had passed. When I looked back, he was gone. No sound, no footsteps, just trees. I convinced myself he was a squatter trying to scare people off, maybe hiding something illegal. It felt almost ridiculous, like a bad Scooby-Doo plot. I even smiled at the thought. I tapped the camera in my bag. Imagine exposing this, I thought, proving everyone wrong. By late afternoon, I reached the heart of the restricted area, a rocky valley nestled between two mountains, swallowed by towering pine trees. The sun dipped behind the peaks. That's when the unease started. The air felt heavier, colder. The wind twisted unnaturally, like it carried something with it, something rotten. As I set my camera on a rock, I felt it, that instinctual warning deep in your spine. I looked up. Behind a tree, something glowed red, like wet blood catching light. I shook my head and kept filming. When I turned the camera toward it, nothing. Then movement. I spun around just in time to see two red eyes staring at me from a rock 50 meters away. I zoomed in. Nothing showed up on the screen, but with my own eyes, they were crystal clear. "Come on," I whispered, frantically adjusting settings. "Pick this up." Suddenly, the eyes vanished. Then came the sound. Clicking, slow, deliberate, wrong. It echoed through the trees, growing louder. I grabbed a stick and held it to my chest, and then I saw it. A humanoid figure crawled toward me, its movements jerky and unnatural. Patches of hair clung to its body, but the skin beneath was pale, sickly, splattered with blood. The clicking grew faster. I froze. Then, instinct took over. I threw the stick and ran. I didn't stop. I didn't look back. The sun was gone. Complete darkness swallowed the trail. A rock slipped under my foot, and I tumbled down the slope. Pain exploded through my ankle. Behind me, branches snapped, rocks crashed. The clicking was closer. I crawled into a dying bush and shut off my headlamp. Silence. Then I saw its face. Holes where ears should have been.
a mouth too wide, eyes burning in the dark. I closed my eyes and prayed. When I opened them again, it was inches away. I screamed. Everything went black. Sunlight woke me. Clear sky, birds singing. I thought I was dead. There was a cabin nearby, smoke rising from the chimney. I knocked. The door opened. It was the old man. "You've been out for 2 days," he said calmly. "So, how'd you sleep?" "What happened to the creature?" I asked. He sighed. "I warned you. I followed you, made sure you survived. Most of you," he added. My heart sank. He tapped my right leg with his cane. I felt nothing. I rolled up my pant leg. Wood. My pet hates artificial light. Only fire keeps it away. Then he opened a cooler. Inside was my leg. He smiled. "My pet gets the scraps. I get the tender parts."
I'd heard the stories since childhood. There's a trail in the mountains near my town. Locals call the road Devil's Pass. They'll tell you, quietly, don't go in there by yourself. Not because of property lines, not because of animals, but because people come back, changed, or not at all. I didn't believe it. I was an experienced hiker. Maps? I knew them better than most people. I had a GPS, boots, supplies, the works. So I drove up the paved road one late afternoon, planning a solo adventure to reach an old mining cabin buried deep in those woods. By the time I turned off the pavement and onto a dirt path that led into the forbidden forest, the sun was already bending toward the horizon. I should have seen the warning then. The air felt thicker, like something watched. At first, I felt silly, just nerves. But the deeper I went, that uneasy feeling turned to something alive. I first noticed it when the radio static began, even though there was no signal. Weird flickers, almost like language, but distorted beyond recognition. Then it got colder, not temperature cold, breath cold, like the air itself was old and rotten. I kept hiking, telling myself I was just spooked, but then the trail disappeared. 1 minute it was there, a barely visible track through the trees, and then nothing but underbrush. I stepped forward, and the ground felt wrong, like I was walking on air instead of earth. That's when I heard the footsteps, not my own. They were slow, heavy, behind me. I turned, nothing. I called out. My voice sounded distant, swallowed by the forest. Then I felt it. Eyes, just beyond sight, watching. Something breathing deep in the brush. I raised my headlamp and saw 2 bright glowing dots in the darkness. Not animal eyes, not reflective, just glowing. My heart hammered. I packed up fast, turned around, and the moment I did, the ground seemed to shift beneath me. The direction I'd just come from now looked unfamiliar, twisted, wrong. Branches snapped on both sides, something moving fast, closer, breathing. It wasn't human. My only thought was run. I sprinted blindly, tripping over roots, cutting my legs, wearing myself out, until something blocked my path. A rock wall, impossibly steep, closing me in. I was trapped. I turned, breathing heavy, and that's when I heard it. A low clicking sound, rhythmic, deliberate, closer. I shined my light in the direction it came from, and the trees seemed to part slightly, and I saw it. Tall, thin, not quite animal, not quite human, red glowing eyes,
staring right at me. I screamed, and then I blacked out. I woke the next morning, legs aching, face scratched, but I was on the edge of the old paved road, my camera still in my pocket, and my GPS just blinking dead. I don't know how long I was out there. All I know is I should have never stepped into those woods, because when I look at my camera footage, I see flashes of something moving behind me, something unseen in the forest, something that wasn't human. And sometimes, when it's quiet at night, I still hear footsteps at the edge of the woods.